Taking care of the Grim first for sure. You know, these guys are the most annoying. Getting a precision crit on them is an insta-kill, but they are moving and flying, which makes them incredibly annoying. The stasis, oh my god, the stasis subjugator is absolutely the worst. It's hitting me behind cover. That's actually not fair. That's not okay, buddy. You cannot be doing this. Although Targe is now dead and Zavala has lost his light, this has granted us the opportunity to travel to where the witness was created in order to unmake what has been made.
But I do have my gun. Reaching the ritual site is our top priority. Do not let your focus stray.
The first location we enter, I fall off the edge of and collapse into the void. Wow, amazing. Of course, that would be how I die. But no, what I wanted to say was instead, this terrain is massively cubified and has been split in the middle by the what should be technically flowing water. However, it is not flowing due to it having been stasified by the witness. I'm sure this is just part of what is to come if the witness succeeds in enacting the final shape. Part of this thematic destruction was shown in the cutscene when Earth was destroyed in the beginning. And here we're crossing some of the terrain that is equally unique. And it makes for a very, very visually interesting place to not only fight in, but to try to comprehend. The scale of such a location is also fairly devastating. Really shows the impact and power the witness has to cause such destruction in the environment. All right, after that we continue forward.
This won't be.
Your search for purpose continues. Once more, you lead it to us. What is it you seek? Your endless pursuit of us yields you nothing.
So the witness actually finally decides to talk to us. Perhaps it's because, well, there are no other distractions in its way or our way. So might as well finally try to distract us. Discussing the substance of what the witness is saying, we're going back to the witness's philosophical position and what it believes our stance is. Here, the witness is saying that our search for purpose continues and that leads us to it. However, the witness then continues to say, what is it you seek? Your endless pursuit of us yields you nothing. The first part is correct, as our search for purpose does continue. And that purpose, you know, is to not die and to save the entire world from the final shape, which is, you know, a pretty valid and important purpose, you know, because living, if you're not alive, it doesn't really matter if you have a purpose or not. You can't even have a purpose, to be fair, if you're dead. So our purpose is to not be dead in order to have a purpose or to ponder upon us having a purpose in the first place, which is why it leads us to the witness, because the witness is trying to stop us from being able to do so. The contradiction here that it does not seem to be able to comprehend is that this is what the witness is claiming to be an endless pursuit and that it yields us nothing. But clearly that is not the case, because if we didn't stop the witness, we would not be here. So insanely flawed thinking from the witness, like a little bit too flawed in my opinion. All right, reached the first campaign banner, and this takes us to a platform that is a downward sloping rectangle. The problem is that the sides of the arena are exposed and will allow us to drop into the void, which is definitely a worry. But the terrain is quite interesting, as it's clearly leading into some more pyramidal architecture. The landscape and terrain is also fairly unique, as it's just a, you know, downwards rectangle with quite a bit of cover. It's like quite linear in its approach on how you fight it, but there is a clear progression in moving forward. Unfortunately, as I'm clearing out these thralls, I hear a rather spooky sound, which indicates to me that a tormentor or subjugator has spawned. Of course, I saw the edge of the site and I heard the, you know, the whisperings. I'm pretty sure they have different sounds. Like, it definitely seems like they don't sound the exact same, but I'm not completely aware of the sound cues. So luckily there are pools of prismatic, which allow us to get rid of, well, it doesn't matter. Well, never mind. Take that back. Can't get rid of anything if you get suppressed by running directly into the Tormentor. Not even regular Tormentor, an imprint of Nezarec. But there are 2 wizards that are supremely annoying that are just sitting at the back of the arena. Luckily, there are these pools of prismatic, which is what they were guarding. And that definitely increases our power scaling by a significant amount. Or I'm just sitting here on the prismatic pool spamming away, and of course, I just peeked my mic, but bro, come on, the Tormentor is gonna knock me off the edge of the map? Can't be doing that, bro. In any case, this fight is not something I have to repeat. Honestly, it's fairly straightforward in its approach. I mean, it is just a line. It's just a straight line. You just go forward in a straight line and kill all the enemies in the straight line. There's not really any deep mechanics. The wizards are annoying. The, narrow platform is annoying because there's not that much room to maneuver, but there is enough as long as you know you're not trolling too hard or getting knocked off the map, which is apparently a concern that is now the #1 worry in my mind, because the fight against the imprint at the end there was pretty freelo because there is plenty of cover. Like, the only difficulty was for me not switching weapons and continuing to use the edge transit when I'm still not even like doing anything about the blasting immunity for the Tormentor. Still don't know that exists. Looking at the model is too hard. Why are you... Okay, so with this wizard, why in the world would I not just aim at the ground? Aim at the bottom left corner where the grenade will collide with the floor and blow up. But I mean, I guess it's good enough. I mean, I kill it anyways, doesn't really matter, huh? All right, for some reason I switched to the Doom Petitioner for 3 shots. I've decided to put in my inventory, and I decided not to switch it out at the campaign banner, so I have no ammo. So I get sucked off by the Tormentor, but I don't die actually. I just have no heavy ammo, which means I have to rely solely on prismatic and my abilities, because the Verglas curve is not exactly... I mean, it's not terrible, but obviously the waveframe is probably a little bit better. I always just call it waveframe instead of like harsh language or truth. Is it harsh language or harsh truth? Might be harsh language. No promises. You're just jumping on the platform, running back and forth. Wow, this is so exciting, huh? Yeah, I mean, the problem is like this is not what I would call challenging or even engaging, but I mean that is kind of just a me problem. Like, I can't blame the game for a fairly standard encounter when I'm just ill-equipped to deal with this fight, both game knowledge-wise and skill-wise. Get sucked off again, don't die. I'm just better. All right, it's at 1 HP. Just gonna pop at it. I was trying to look at it through the crack, but nope. There we go. Finally take it down. Only dead once, and that was because I got knocked off. So that's really, really annoying.
You wish to aid your traveler with reckless end, to spread the feeble poison of life, chaos disguised as freedom. We deny this thing. Let us enlighten you.
So the problem here is, the witness claims that, freedom is chaos, which he hasn't stated that chaos is bad. He's just making that inherent assumption that, chaos isn't, or he's making an assumption that chaos is inherently bad, which is not something you should be doing. Like, why is chaos inherently bad? Like, good and bad are a spectrum and perspective that is dependent on, the beholder. Of course, the real problem is that, the witness then tries to impose its will and what it believes to be, it not freedom, and as it would put it, salvation. And so the fact that it would deny us the freedom to make the choice of accepting the salvation of the witness is clear that, the witness's intentions are not exactly pure and are philosophically tainted, to say the very least. As we enter further into the temple, the geometry and the structure laid out by these winding triangular tunnels make for some rather head-turning locations. So first of all, Crow, that's not a riddle. What was made can be unmade. I can't get that out of my head. That riddle. Yes, the riddle of what was made can be unmade. Yeah, so complex, Crow. I wonder what can be made can be unmade means. You clearly understood it because after that you say, oh, how are we supposed to unmake the witness? Okay, you understood it. That's not where your question is lies. Come on, Crow, think. That's not a riddle. You understand what it's. Sorry, getting. It's like, come on, Crow. You said something so fucking pointlessly stupid. Whatever.
The Traveler.
Way that the witness plans to remake the universe.
The Traveler's light.
Way that the witness plans.
All right, continuing on.
How are we supposed to unmake the witness?
The same way that the witness plans to remake the universe.
The Traveler's light.
Light restores, terraforms, shapes. We could use it to break the witness apart, destroy it.
Wow, that's crazy. We're gonna use the light to destroy the witness? Only a true 4,000 IQ warlock like Ikora could have come up with such an idea. Use the light to destroy the witness. No way. Who could have thought of that? That's crazy. Yeah, I have no idea why. I mean, when, like, you know, we dropped a lot of IQ when it came to discussing how to destroy the witness. But I mean, what else are we going to use besides the light? Wow, like, brilliant observation. But no. Moving on to something that is actually quite unique is the aesthetics of this location, like the absolute ruinous state of, you know, the architecture of the Black Fleet is quite wicked to view. Same with the accompanying skyboxes.
There has to be some way past it.
In this room, we are constantly being poisoned, and that requires us to gather some resonance energy. Wow, looping. Yeah, gather some resonance energy. Okay, wow. Bro, my God, wow. Took forever to get that shield from darkness. Crazy, trolling.
When I stood before the witness, when I confronted it in that place. But Guardian, your ability to wield both darkness and light gives you an advantage. You will do what I could not.
This weird colored block architecture is pretty interesting. I don't know how exactly that lends into the Black Fleet pyramid aesthetic, but honestly, the accents and the color work and it works remarkably well, and it really fits in. So anyways, as we enter another witness blight, I troll myself with the Verglass curve and I block myself in crystals. Bro, hold on, what? Yeah, so getting pulled through might have automatically made my bow shot. I don't even know if that was on purpose, actually, but because that was like the instant I entered.
Forsake the architect of your enslavement. Cast aside your squalid loyalties. You are no longer a pawn of the light. Be free.
So the problem with this is that the witness is like, oh, cast away being shackled to the traveler by becoming shackled to me. Wow, really? Like, come on, that doesn't make any sense. You obviously have very strong intentions in which to impose those intentions and will upon others, even if they do not desire to do so. Unlike the traveler who allows us to do whatever. Like, come on. I was like, you're not even trying, little bro. This room is pretty neat though, seeing all the ghosts, you know, clumped up into piles, stacked on top of each other, and you know, this graveyard-like aesthetic. You know, it's pretty spooky, you know. All right, exiting the blight, we find the next campaign banner. Hand is grasping above the entrance as the orange accents contrast the black, and we drop down. Wow, that starts the encounter instantly. Here we are in the Sacarium. Very cool place. There's some prismatic wells because there are prismatic shielded enemies. Crazy. Couple of snaps, you know, just clearing out the ads. A bound omen is the main boss in this room. Gonna go ahead and just take it out, spamming that transit, spamming my abilities. Thankfully, these prismatic pools make everything a little bit too easy. I'm not gonna lie. They really probably should not have done prismatic pools and just given us prismatic at wherever at the campaign rally, because being able to just continuously respawn prismatic is a little OP, but they do get removed after we kill the boss. So it's like, you know, it is only for a limited time, but that doesn't change the fact that it makes it too easy. In any case, the shielded from darkness orbs are now the mechanic that is at play here. They were introduced all the way back in the beginning of mission 1, actually, but they just weren't shielded for darkness. It was just us gathering darkness, and here just having that darkness allows us to use it as a shield against the witness's poisonous resonance. That's the miasma contaminating the air. So here we see what happens when I don't have the buff. I take a damage over time, and that actually causes me to die because what was it? What I'm trolling? I don't switch to my bow. I'm just unaware to I just don't shoot it. I have straight up like 3 seconds here. Wow. I'm just not thinking. That was just bad. I don't know. Like, I could have hit it with my wave frame because I'm pretty sure if I did any damage, I would have activated. I don't even know if I had to switch my bow. I literally did not need to die there. I just had to just hit the thing. But yes, the poison does do a massive damage amount of time. So that was very dangerous. Cannot be doing that. All right, the Bound Omen actually kills me the second time around. Like, those ice crystals are not a joke. Like, look at this. Sheesh. I get slowed down and I get trapped and he explodes everything and I'm dead. That's actually insane. That is a little insane, I'm not gonna lie. These stasis subjugators got to calm down. Gotta chill, bro. All right, third time around, not a big deal. You know, just spam it at the beginning because I can. So I am topped up on prismatic before all of this happens. This way I can just grab Shielded from Darkness and drop down. No problem. All right, the loop down here is pretty simple. Just run to each corner, grab a shield, fight back the poison, and now that I've observed the witness and the Black Fleet Pyramid Glyph, I can head back to the main room, take a note of where they are. I'm not sure if they have any specific order, but I am going to go ahead and make sure I do it in the correct order just in case. I don't think it does though, because I feel like that's not how the glyphs sort of manifested. It did seem like I could just put them in any order once I knew what they were. But, you know, with that, the main boss, Eshkintuk, Witnesses Blessed, has arrived, you know? Not even an icon or a pillar, just been blessed by the witness. So in terms of strength, I don't believe they can be that strong. I'm kind of trolling myself, but I'm like, okay, bro, I'll just use my super here, which is definitely fine. Eshkintuk has no segmented bars, so and that indicates to me that there's no immunity phases or additional mechanics at play, since, you know, I did all the mechanics beforehand. I do think that, you know, mechanics and fight should have been combined, like, you know, but it's not that big of a deal. Doing the mechanics first, then fighting the boss. That's how they structure this fight, so it's not a problem. Especially since, you know, this is not the only boss fight. But pretty easy. I definitely should not have died the second time around, and definitely should not have died the first time around. Although I will say the first time around definitely should have died way less second time around. I mean, wow, those crystals really just froze me, huh?
In truth, you seek not hope, but endless challenge. This ambition is known to us. That what can be destroyed must be destroyed.
So the witness tries to claim that, you know, for our purpose, we don't see cope or something. I don't know why he's bringing up that we don't see cope, because that's pointless, because we can see cope and an endless challenge at the same time. It's like, two things can be true at the same time. He's just conflating things. And it's like I don't even want to argue with this like completely unthought out statement. Like, come on, try harder. The next statement is a little bit more interesting, because I think that when the witness claims that ambition is known to us, that what can be destroyed must be destroyed, I think he's actually referring to sword logic, which is something that I don't think has been mentioned since like Shadowkeep, when like Eris told us this. But sword logic is like entwined with like the deep and the darkness or whatever, and it's like, so I'm pretty sure that this is what the witness is referring to, sword logic, at least in terms of like the Destiny universe. To bring it out, it's like, the ambition is known to us, that what can be destroyed must be destroyed. I mean, I don't know if that would really align with our purpose at all. So refer back to my statement on the previous line. It takes me a little while to find where we're going next. You see, I even jump in, takes me a little while. I spot the green line. I'm like, oh, you don't want to investigate that? There we go. And stumble into the next area. The Minecrafting has been pretty intense as we look at another blight. Just kidding. Just gonna not go into the very obvious place. The hands leading us in, pretty wacky. Outlining the entrance, pretty spooky. A lot of hands. I am taking a look. We're entering the eye. Pretty wacky. The lighting here is pretty nice. The music as well is not really music. It's just like an ambiance of, twisted and reverbed and distorted sounds.
Listen to your potential. Find your purpose. Be chosen.
All right, so if we go back to, the first time we entered the blight, I think what the witness is doing here is, trying to tempt us, which is what, he's been doing with Zavala and Crow and whatever this entire time, right? I don't even think he even tried to Ikora, to be honest, because we didn't really have to do anything with Ikora. So for some reason, this blight doesn't suck me out immediately, so I'm able to stay in the in-between. I mean, enemies can still hit me and I can still hit enemies, but so it doesn't really do anything, but it is cool to get a better look at this visual effect. These enemies are actually a little bit really annoying for no reason. Like, come on. For some reason, my bow was not shattering there. For some reason, I have no idea why that could be the case, but I do see the location where I head next, and I'm gonna go ahead and drop down the next rally banner. Wow. So, this section has been paced pretty fast, boss after boss after boss. That was a weird animation, but now we have to face against Dolget, Blade of Reasoning. Wow, we get a blade. It is interesting that, right after I mentioned sword logic, whatever, we have a blade, and this is the Blade of Reasoning. Maybe it's kind of linked. Of course, the theme of reasoning has to do with us, and the philosophy or whatever, working things out. All right, I drop I just drop a regular nade, and then I drop a prismatic nade. I actually fucked up. I should have, popped prismatic before going in. I did not need to drop a cold snap, but I guess maybe if I wanted to energy regen. In any case, Dolgeth is in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and shoot the spike, and I'm going to go ahead and enter the darkness. And of course, I ignore the darkness resonant orb, so I enter whatever this location is. I'm not exactly sure what to call it. I enter the pyramidal structure with 1 HP and no shield, and I try to heal myself with a well or rift, sorry, but that does not go well. I do find a orb and to get the shield of darkness in a corner, so it does seem like the previous encounter, there are multiple shields of darkness, which makes it pretty convenient. I don't know why I didn't grab one before coming in here, but now I'm just gonna go ahead and run around, get a quick lay of the land, make sure I know where everything is. I definitely do not, but it is just like, remember to run in a circle and I should be fine. But yeah, now I just have to defeat some more warded knights. So this place being a maze is really annoying because it makes it a little bit confusing to navigate through. But on the upside, it also insulates you from all the enemies at all times. So it is incredibly easy to just not get hit or outmaneuver everything. Like it is incredible. It's like too easy, like, you know, and the timer and for the buff for the Shield of Darkness is also way too generous. Like 45 seconds, like we got to trim like 30 seconds off that. 30 seconds would be way too harsh actually. We got to trim like 20 seconds off of it. Make it 30 actually. Just trim 15 seconds off of it. But yeah, but 45 seconds is way too generous. But gotta go ahead and make sure that I collect the right symbols. For some reason, I almost messed up and didn't see that that was the witness. Now I just have to remember to go to the next symbol. I am grabbing the Shield of Darkness just in case, you know, you never know. They are still here, so they might be useful in the future. I could have taken a shortcut and ran across to get the second glyph, but instead me playing it safe and running around actually causes Dolget to blast me off the edge. Like I actually lose it in the video because, you know, that's incredibly annoying. I just get blasted so, you know, that wasn't even my fault, you know. Well, I guess, you know, now I know. Don't be near the edge, or make sure Dolgeth is, you know, not able to blast you on the edge, because that is incredibly annoying. Because, you know, because of that I didn't even get to DPS phase. So here we are, just gotta take care of the blights in order to spawn in the Shard of Darkness. I will go ahead and grab a Shield of Darkness this time around, and also, you know, I'm actually gonna plan ahead and grab a prismatic power up in order to make things a lot easier and a lot faster the second time around. All right, gonna go ahead and touch the glyphs the second time around. Make sure I don't get blasted off the edge. I was a little bit spooked, I'm not gonna lie. Still grabbing the buff, just, you know, just in case. Playing it a little bit safe, hiding behind a pillar just in case. I even purposely chose the little bit more complicated route. Now we have to go ahead and pick up a Shield of Aegis. Gonna be a little bit careful about being near the edge, playing in my cover for sure. Jumping out in order to pop the super, because I do remember from previous encounters that using the super will just take away the shield immediately, so I can jump back into cover. And now this starts the DPS phase, and the only problem with DPS phase though is all the ads that try to troll you. And, you know, I really have to make sure I'm playing in cover because I do not want to be blasted off again. That would be so devastating. But yeah, making sure I'm clearing out the thralls. You know, I don't know if DPS phase is a limited time, but I just assume that it's almost certainly not, and it's just going to be a health gate until I get to half health. So it's probably best just to take care of all of the ads before, you know, dealing with Dolgeth itself, because if the ads take me out, that will be really tragic, because this is a completely, you know, manageable situation. Your prismatic pools coming back make it, you know, I don't know why. I mean, I guess we have to tie in prismatic, but man, getting prismatic pools just makes this easier. What happened? I know my nade just did not go off. I'm really careful. I even purposely actually hide and jump behind the Taken Wizard in order to make sure the wizard blocks the shots from Dolgeth, because on my mind I'm like, okay, I'm in a really bad position down there, so I have to make sure I'm blocked and stay in cover. So that is actually, you know, Dolgeth is out here applying a lot of pressure. Like, it's crazy. Like, it cannot be underestimated how much pressure Dolgeth is applying simply because of the arena and, you know, me not trying to get blasted off. It is wild. All right, grab prismatic before shattering the shard, and I'm gonna go ahead and jump in. So Ghost mentions that we got a gift from the Traveler. I'm not too sure what that gift is, but maybe I will get to take note of it when we jump back. The Traveler did give us the Shield of Aegis, so, you know, it is still trying to help in that regard. Or at least that's how, you know, the gameplay is manifesting that narrative theme. So pretty good. All right, that's the glyph bearers down. I'm gonna go ahead and take the time to just drink some water. You know, no big deal. There's nothing attacking me at this point. We got, you know, gotta remember symbols, witness, and the first carving. Ooh, spoilers, but you know, gotta get that in there real quick. I can't include that. All right, gotta remember these symbols as I run back in. You know, it's pretty easy down there. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's way too much cover. There's way too much time with the shields. I was honestly not stressed at all. But you know, I gotta remember the symbols real quick. I don't know if the order matters, but I do remember the order apparently. Wow, that's crazy. Good job, me. Almost, you know, I got PTSD of getting knocked off, but I do not. So you know, really clean. One of the bullets bounced off the shield right there. What happened? Like, let me just. Yes, wait, hold on, that's crazy. The shield acts as an object, and one of Dolget's eye blasts actually bounces off the shield, right? That's what's happening here. Because, I mean, technically we get hit. But, like, surely the Dolget blast would have done more damage to us if it didn't bounce off the shield. So I'm going to say the Traveler protected us, and, you know, it for sure bounced off the shield. All right, with the music is hyping us up. It's going crazy. The strings, the chorus, or it's not really the chorus, the choir, sorry. It's going all in as I have to deal with Dolget. Honestly, Dolget is not really even too much of a worry. I'm way more worried about the Scions because Dolget has like no health for some reason. Like, I do understand, you know, Edge Transit is pretty good, but, you know, they should have, they definitely should have realized that people were probably going to have Edge Transit. And, it's, you know, I do also have an Apex Predator for my DPS weapon. And I also have Song of Flame. So, you know, there's a lot of methods for me to do damage. And honestly, that was way too easy. I'm not going to lie. Dolget needed like three health bars and like triple the health. If you know, just if you wanted to extend the fight out longer, but in reality, I think there should have been more interconnection between like the health bar phases and us having the clearer stuff in the alternate realm. Like, you know, maybe we do one glyph at a time or something. Because, or like, you know, maybe summon in more Scions or make it so Dolgeth has more chances to knock you off the map. But yeah, I don't know. It feels like that was a little bit easier than it should be. And I know I'm just the best player ever, but like, come on, that's a little bit too easy.
The sword logic teaches that what cannot be destroyed will surpass infinity. The Hive were lost to this childish game. To obsess like violence with the first knife, to see the final carving. Are you not also a prisoner of this eternal chase? For all your power, you destroy to receive glittering rewards. The commendations of your years, triumphant accolades for all to see. We offer you an escape. Embrace this truth. Be uplifted, triumphant against entropy.
All right, so before we continue on, let's dissect what the witness just said to us here. It's completely blatant in its offering. I did completely forget that the witness mentioned sword logic here, but I suppose that is where I pulled that bit of memory from in the first place for the last boss. So that's probably why I even thought of sword logic in the first place when it came to this event. But, you know, here's just clarifying upon the concept of what sword logic is, you know, just in case, you know, you didn't remember, because, you know, I totally remembered everything about sword logic for sure. So the witness just dismisses the sword logic entirely by claiming that the Hive were lost to this childish game. You know, of course, since the Hive are manifestations of the sword logic and basically chase that from what we learned in Shadowkeep. We know what the witness think of the Hive. The phrasing the witness uses, too obsessed by the violence of the first knife to see the final carving, is interesting because we're introducing the first knife again. Also, we're bringing back the first knife, and here we're introducing the concept of the final carving. Clearly, that's, you know, analogous for something. I assume that might be the first knife for the final carving. That might just be for, you know, the metaphorical tie-in for what happened with the witness doing what it did to the traveler, right? Like if the witness carved out, or if the witness sliced into the traveler, that was the carving. But it's interesting that the witness would then call it the final carving instead of, the first carving. The witness goes on to say the hive were lost to this childish game. Childish game, obviously being referring to the sword logic. So that is clear what the witness thinks about the hive. The following sentence is more interesting, mainly in the phrasing and metaphor being used. Too obsessed by the violence of the first knife to see the final carving. First knife and final carving are referring to something. It could be the witness cutting into the traveler is the first knife and the final carving, or it could be referring to some other ideological, concept, or because it could be referring to like Oryx, cutting into the traveler or something. So I'm not exactly too sure what first knife and final carving mean here, but conceptually, they are pretty fine ideas in the abstract. Here, the witness gets a little bit meta in its discussion as it's analyzing our behaviors. What do we do in Destiny? We grind out the new content to get new guns in order to grind out more content. And the witness is pointing out what we do. We're not exactly bettering the world. I guess we kind of are, but in a pretty small scale. I mean, we could start slightly smaller. Like we're not exactly the people involved with the political systems and engaging in creating, charities or hospital work or any of that stuff. We're out here fighting stuff and using magic and blowing stuff up and getting cool guns. Someone has to do the job, but that's not us. And it could be debated how effective or what we're doing really is. Of course, the witness is also kind of attacking, not what it is we're doing. Well, sorry. Hey, the witness is attacking exactly what it is we're doing, right? Ultimately, we're repeating the same thing over and over again. And in what we're doing, the witness doesn't see the purpose, right? Why do we keep on doing the same things over and over again? And all of it is just for, the commendation of our peers, triumphant accolades for all to see, as the witness puts it. And those are concepts which, don't make too much sense to the witness, right? Like, what is the purpose and what is the point of doing such a thing? What does that achieve? What does that bring about? And the witness is just stuck on the problem of what purpose is and, the locality of purpose. Because purpose is too vague of an idea. Because when you generally qualify what purpose you have, it's usually people usually don't have just one purpose. They usually have multiple purposes for a greater goal. And, what the witness is attacking is how once we reach or fulfill said purpose, we have to find a new one in order to continue going, because that's just what we do. There is no ultimate end goal. It's just, a new purpose, one after another. And the witness just struggles with the idea of there not being a greater purpose. That's just the witness's problem. There's like, bro just needs something to do. He's just, the witness unironically got too powerful and just got bored. And they're like, what are we supposed to do now? We're just too strong. I don't know. Go enter another universe. Go tear apart. I guess their purpose now is to destroy reality. So ultimately, in the end, the witness, found out that their purpose is to get incredibly strong to the point where they almost have destroyed reality. So pretty funny that, you know, the witness keeps on claiming that that there is no greater purpose when the witness is fulfilling a greater purpose of, you know, destroying the entire universe and being our greater purpose in this moment.
This truth, the uplifted, triumphant against entropy.
Of course, we're bringing the concept of entropy being triumphant against entropy. It is not exactly something we will accomplish underneath the witness because, well, the final sheep would indicate, well, so technically, I guess the witness would be correct. We would be triumphant against entropy, but that's only because entropy would no longer exist because everything would be perfectly still. Like, so come on. What? But yeah, like, sure, we're triumphant against entropy, but then we're also, you know, we also lost because if there is no entropy, there is no light to decay into nothingness.
Sounds like the witness thinks you're hot stuff.
It flattered me too. It offered me the awoken throne, a kingdom all my own, my sister's love.
How is your sister?
On her way with the helm.
Mara?
You're in danger, brother.
And you're supposed to be with the Coalition fleet on the other side of the portal.
I know.
Mara, don't be stupid.
Now you know how it feels.
All right, so we get Mara reintroduced. So, you know, she is apparently on this side of the portal, apparently. I assume that is what that means directly, right? Because she does say, you know, she's not on this side of the she's not on the other side of the portal, she's on this side. So she's apparently, you know, within the Pale Heart, and she's just flying on over to where we are. I mean, she does have plenty of mission and plenty of time. You know, there's plenty of survey issues along the way awaiting her, I'm sure. But it is interesting here to see that, you know, the position Crow and Mara are in have switched up, as Mara is usually the one telling Crow, I assume, you know, to not be reckless. Well, I mean, it's not even that I assume, like, you know, she's already said that multiple times before, even within my my not experiencing Forsaken. But yeah, so we just have a cute little role reversal as we end near the end. Wow, really. You know, we end in here. We end in here. Fuck it. We end in here. But yes, we do know that at the very least, oh, I almost fell off the map, of course. We do know at the very least that Mara is on her way. So we will have her power to assist us, because as of right now, we kind of can only rely on us, on Ikora, and on Crow. And of course, mainly us, because we're the best. So this level, as we climb up this location, is quite interesting because we get to observe the entire skybox and location of the Pale Heart. Like, if we get to, like, if you like this view is pretty crazy. We get to see the incision all the way back. There's the little triangle in the center of the screen, and it showcases our entire journey on the way here. I'm sure when we get to the top, we'll get a better look, but it is just, you know, it is a fantastical sight to behold. It is cute that, you know, as we have to traverse this structure, that we have to stay along the edges, and the orange accents, you know, not only highlight the path, but contrast against the black make for rather striking aesthetics. As I almost trolled this jump. Wow, good thing I did not do that. But yeah. But yeah, we finally see a witness flight, so that's the end of us scaling up, I believe. And we're going to go ahead and enter it. Already instantly hit with the spookiness. Hands everywhere. Skull in the ground. Technically not a skull, but a body in the ground. Here we see a disposed, or a head in the ground and body disposed in whatever whatever, you know, the blue crystalline goop is. Pretty spooky, pretty evocative. I mean, it's pretty blatant that, you know, these are bodies that did not experience the best of fates. Once again, the game designer is hiding the pathway forward in a tiny little crack on the ground. Very cool. All right.
Accept all that you are owed. Be adorned.
The witness, once again, playing into our temptations, trying to play into what we do. It's like, yes, accept all the loot, but this is, you know, what we call missing the point. You know, we collect a bunch of loot, sure, but what is the point of us collecting that loot? Exactly. Moving ahead, and the passageway forward is rather striking. Some skulls slash heads. I keep on just saying skulls, but there are a bunch of heads stacked up upon each other. The red accenting, you know, the location makes it extremely spooky. You know, the framing, as we see, the heads are actually not, you know, all aligned at the same height or verticality or on the z-axis. There we go. And when we jump up, it's actually pushed back a little bit as we crawl through a rather grotesque part. You know, I'm just trying to describe what is happening here. The staircase forward, lit by a pretty narrow slit, pretty nice. Continuing forward, we get up and are able to lay our eyes upon the scenery from a higher ground. Get a better look at where we came from. Wow. Unfortunately, you know, it's not in, you know, maximum detail, but it is just impressive, the absolute scale and distance that we have covered. Music, or the ambient music, is going pretty hard.
I really don't like the look of these rooms.
Here we see an Ahamkara. It's completely spliced apart. Pretty wild, pretty wacky. Makes you wonder if this is like an actual Ahamkara or what's going on. I go to the other room, but I'm like, I'm not gonna waste my time trying to see if there's anything here might be used for something else later anyways. But darkness is really pouring out as we continue further in.
Guardian, that looks like the old Vanguard war table.
Lightbearer. These meager pawns will outlead you. Their strength pales in comparison to your own. They hold you back from all that you could become. We judged humanity before you made your greatness known. Your worth, your might. You deserve power more than a traveler would ever grace you. Join us, not as part of the final chain, but as a god.
Taj was right.
Silence, you insolent speck.
A disciple. You wouldn't make that offer unless you were truly desperate. Terrified. Of us. Of what the Guardian can now do.
You seek the place we destroyed ourselves. Come. And be destroyed.
Hey, what the hell happened in there? The line went dead.
The witness.
All right, the witness just gives up because our ghost is quite blunt with its words. Not really too much for me to analyze there, but we get some rather intense visual imagery as we place the rally banner, presumably about to face the witness. The music is really helping the build up, and as the door falls, shards create the witness's face. Wow. Wild. Spooky.
The tomb. Stagnant. And there, at the center, the place where the witness was made.
Give yourself to darkness, Guardian. But stay vigilant. Stay alive.
Zavala reminding us to give ourselves to darkness in order to understand what is happening. As we take a look at your boy for the first time, that is the witness actually in flesh attacking us. Wow, that's crazy. So the witness does have an immunity shield, as I found out by attacking him immediately, and we can't attack him for now. We do see he has an immunity shield. Right off the bat, there is a couple of bats that are, it's not like the best way to phrase it. Right off the bat, there's some, right off the bat, our chances are looking grim as we are constantly pushed back and forth, pulled into a violent ebb and flow as I die to the witness. Its shards kind of instantly killed me, although it's not like I was at any sort of health in the first place. That was, interestingly enough, a solar shard. I don't know if that means all the shards by the witness are going to be solar, or they're different elements. I don't, or if the witness has different attacks, but the monument in the center is quite interesting. I try to take a better look at your boy. The shard effects surrounding it are quite interesting. The model is fairly detailed, and honestly, it looks kind of creepy up close. I don't even get that good of a look, but wow.
Hello? Come in. We've got enemies incoming too. We're trying to get to you as fast as we can.
So Ikora is letting us know that she will try to get to us as fast as she can. I really gotta stop dying here though, you know? So luckily the witness is not bothering to destroy our ghost in this moment. Although technically in canon, I think, you know, we do everything first try, which is pretty crazy to think about. I mean, we are just built different, I guess. Anyways, getting hit by the witness there. Wow, that did like half my health with like one shard. So I'm pretty sure a full attack would sort of kill me, which makes sense. It is a witness. I do like what the gameplay is emulating here. We are having to hide fairly aggressively. Like every time I'm out of cover, I basically died. So we are having to hide fairly and play super defensively in order to protect ourselves from the witness. In the middle, we need to defeat a subjugator. Very annoying. Stasis subjugators are super cringe. How did the ice shatter affect me from halfway across? Like, come on. We like, the zone on that ice shatter is crazy. I toss out a cold snap nade and actually hit the subjugator directly. So full energy regen there, pretty good. It is crazy that this is where the witness was created. I wish I got the time to take a better look at all the symbolism going on. But the main tower is very similar to the portal we saw Zavala walk through. The Grim here are fairly numerous, and I definitely got to take care of them first. But this finally gives me the space to play all the way in the back. I don't know if the witness is still spawning and attacking or what is happening with the witness. Yeah, I think I just saw him. So he's still there. They are still there. All right, gonna go ahead and blow myself up. Of course. Wow. Death number 3 was by blowing myself up. We can't be doing that at the witness. That was okay in mission 2. But not here when we're fighting the witness. Well, we can't be making mistakes like that. Get a better look. I was trying to look behind, you know, just hiding behind this cover. Trying to get in the back lines, but the witness is occupying all the space. Like, for real, the witness is the ultimate ogre, truly doing everything by taking up all the space in the middle. I actually really like how defensively we're forced to play. Like, we have to cower from the witness. We can't even look at him. That's how dangerous it is. It's pretty nice. All right, after doing enough damage to the subjugator, it gets an immunity shield, very uncool, which means we have to do something. I try to head towards the objective marker, but it is locked behind some sort of energy shield. All right, so, well, I can't go behind the energy shield, which is not cool. That means I have to do something in order to get behind the energy shield. So I'm going to go ahead and when this is attacking, I do see the darkness orb in front of me, but I don't know what is happening here. I'm just going to fire off the verbose curve. I'm just attacking everything. I think I'm just incredibly blind. Hello? What am I doing? All right, for some reason, I don't do anything and I just decide to get a better look at the witness. So since we can get a good look at him, we do see the smoke of his head, you know, is unfortunately not very skull-like. It's just smoky, but I mean, that's not exactly a detail that matters too much when we're close up to him. The space around him, the shield is pretty whack. His attire is incredibly detailed. Like, it is wild how much I can see. Like how many shards I can see making up his chest. Even the particles he summons are incredibly detailed. So I have no idea what I was doing there. I was fucking trolling. All right, this time around, I just get blasted by the subjugator as I jump in the air. Wow, I got hit by every single attack at the same time. So I got hit by the tracking attack of a Grim. I got hit by the Witness and a Subjugator. That's what that was, right? No, I think that might not be even a Grim attack. That just might be the Witness shard. No, I think it is the Grim attack. I'm pretty sure at the bottom right, that's a Grim attack. And the middle was the Witness attack. And the left was the Subjugator attack. Honestly, most of these deaths are not even due to anything crazy happening or any mistake I can try to work on fixing. Or, I mean, I guess there are mistakes being made, but when I'm doing stuff like that, it's like, come on. The only real mistake that I would comment on is when I just trolled and did not fire at the Shard of Darkness. I'm pretty sure I just did not see it. That has to be the only explanation. All right, finally bring the Subjugator back down. For some reason, I switched to the Apex Predator. I have no idea why I did that. I don't know. I actually have no idea why I did that. But with the Shield of Darkness, I'm able to grab the Aegis. And with the Aegis, I assume I use the Aegis Super to break the shield. Yep. And now here I have to hold to block with the Aegis, which is, oh, so this is where I finally have to rebind the keybind. So I see the mark on the ground. I'm like, oh, I probably have to hold this. Wow, here we are. I'm holding down the Z key over the crack of the Guardian, and that went ahead and was good enough. So I probably changed it even after that, because I know for sure that my block key is not Z. That's a whack. And that is, I mean, Z key is not like too whack, but it's really whack to hold down continuously for a long period of time. Well, I did manage to do it because I didn't have to do anything else. I could just block and stand in place. So I did get to see a better look at the animation of the Witness. As I need to just bring down the Subjugator. All right, that was pretty chill, to be honest. All right, so we grabbed the sword, which was summoned where the Shield of Aegis was. So I assume this is the Traveler still manifesting light in order to help us, because that's what the Aegis is, and now we have a sword and shield, epic.
Simultaneously victims and perpetrators, condemned to fade in light as all things do. And so we reshaped ourselves to become this purpose the universe lacked. We lost ourselves. Destroy us.
So the centaurs are talking to us, and we actually destroy one of the statues with the sword of light provided to us by the Guardian. That's crazy.
Keep at it. We'll hold the line and keep everything we can from spilling in. Vanguard, you figured it out. What was made in darkness can be unmade in darkness. In darkness, the statues are still part of the witness. Destroy them will destroy the witness.
Ghost, you two need to get back in there.
All right, so with this, we finally figure out the meaning of what can be made, it can be unmade. The statues that create the witness can be destroyed, and thus we can injure the witness. We've actually found a way to do it. The problem right now is that we are kind of being overwhelmed as we have to engage with several mechanics. We have to shield ourselves from darkness constantly. And those, those orbs of resonance can only be shot on a certain timer. And we have to deal with the subjugator at the same time. Pretty intense. All of this is in plans to buy enough time for us to let Crow, Cade, Zavala, Ikora get here. So, we don't have to fight the witness alone, because it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. Having a little bit of trouble buying enough time, and I end up dying to the witness. Poorly timed. That was rather unfortunate. So that time around, I definitely should not have just ran straight into the subjugator. Being in melee range for subjugators is dangerous. Like, look how fast that attack is. That's how fast you can die. 2 melees from a subjugator? Wow, brittle. Should definitely played it at a distance. But at least I've gone ahead and figured out the initial mechanic and the method of how we're going to defeat the witness. So it feels pretty good making progress. All right, so the witness shattering effect really is something I cannot run into. Like, bro, you're trolling. So I actually get a better look at the smoke, and some of the smoke head is actually, or some of the smoke is actually the heads. So what I said earlier was technically true, but the initial base of the smoke are the heads, so I think that's good enough, to be honest. It does lose, losing form as it spews out is fine. So in terms of this encounter and its combat difficulty, it is a little hard to, a little bit difficult to judge my initial feelings, especially when, the commentary is a bit in the future. But at the time, what I'm struggling with is more so my tiredness, because, at this point in time, I've been awake for longer than 24 hours because I was awake before the final shape even came out, right? So I've been awake for an incredibly long period of time. I am definitely making an excuse for myself, but I have to make an excuse for myself because there's nothing that's technically really giving me any major difficulties. I'm just out here attacking the subjugator with my Verglas curve instead of using my edge transit. Like, why? Like, why am I doing this? Why are you doing that? Why are you just not using one grenade from your edge transit? Like, it's stuff like, it's the minor details, stuff like that, that's just, making this encounter I'm running towards the object marker when I know I can't go there because I've tried to do it before and I have to go through the main entrance. It's all these little things that are making this encounter more troublesome than it should be. I guess if I were to talk about what was giving me any difficulty, for sure, it's kind of only the Grim and the Stasis Subjugator is in particular super annoying. The Stasis Subjugator is mainly annoying because it can hit me behind, the walls, but it is kindly primarily the Grim if I had to choose a mob. The Witness being like an ogre in the middle is nothing new. It's like, oh wow, it does a bunch of damage and just don't be exposed, don't be in cover. Not exactly too much of a problem. And see, once I'm once I figure out, I was like, okay, I just need to kill the Grim first. Everything becomes so much smoother. This is the gameplay I remember. In the beginning, I was just, I think I was just, overwhelmed by everything happening. I was like a little bit too giddy, But, you know, once I was like, all right, I have to actually lock in, I'm like, okay, well, I understand the game plan.
Free yet, but it's still trying to help us. Traveler's not free yet, but it's still trying to help us. We've got our opening into the darkness.
All right, I do grab the sword second time around. I don't even know if I should be bothering wasting my time attacking the Thrall, but the dialogue has changed because it has recognized that, you know, this is not the first time we're doing this. So instead of wasting our time with these long lines, we
Another subjugator.
get it much faster.
Keep everything we can from spilling in. Vanguard, we figured it out. What was made in darkness can be unmade in darkness. In darkness, the statues are still part of the witness. Destroying them will destroy the witness.
Ghost, you two need to get back in there.
So I have no idea why I switched from the oh my god, nice aim, buddy. No, but I mean, really, the animation of a subjugator trolled me there. Really? It gets hit by my apex predator, and because it's still recoiling, it misses. Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? Look at my face right now. I'm fucking livid. That's not okay. That can't be happening. See, that's not even my fault. I guess aim a little bit lower next time, but wow, really? But I don't know why I'm using the apex predator over the edge transit when I wasn't even properly using that transit. Like, I had like 18 bullets in it because I wasn't just using it. It's like, well, no wonder that transit isn't helping you when you're not using it. It's like, good job, buddy. Like, why am I DPSing with the Verglas curve? What is happening here? All right, I made the same mistake again. That's how you know I'm so tired. Like, really, why would I go to the outside of the objective marker? Actually trolling, but doesn't matter as I do get the shield and I do get the super. Oh, actually go ahead and drop the shield in order to not die. Because, you know, the Shadow Thrall are incredibly annoying. So I was gonna say, I actually am gonna say, oh, bro, insane. So, all right. So I am going to say, I think that the strand subjugators are not as bad as the stasis ones. The stasis subjugators were incredibly annoying. Like this one, I was just like, if I was slightly in cover, you know, I would not have gotten hit. But the stasis subjugators can just hit you behind cover anyways. It's like, and they slow you. It's actually trolling. Like the stasis ones are not okay. Like, well, yes, getting stuck here is annoying, but technically, you know, I have the ability to still use my gun and, you know, move to be behind cover. It's just rather unfortunate that I got hit by the, yes, it's just a lot of bad things happened here because I dropped the shield in a bad spot. And while I was in my well, I'm poisoned by darkness. So I didn't have the buff to protect me from the DOT. And so I had to go immediately get the DOT. And that exposed me to taking damage from the witness attack. So that was rather unfortunate. I think be a little bit safer in the future and definitely get a shield of darkness before grabbing the shield, or grab the shield of darkness on your way out, because I am able to drop it. That's just something you have to keep in mind. All right, so I forgot to unmute my mic after sneezing, and now I have to re-record this entire second half of gameplay and all the story parts. So that's not going to be too much of a problem as long as I remember what exactly I was doing. This is a completely different day because I was not going to really do that right after losing my voice. But here we are, just going to go ahead and shoot some Grim. Pretty sure last time around I already managed to destroy some statues, so this time around we're just engaging in the basic combat loop. Let's go ahead and make things go a little bit faster. Yeah, I'm still not sure why I switched to Apex Predator. Maybe in my mind, because I had the Apex Predator and it has like less rockets and each rocket does more damage, I just thought it would be better for like doing bust DPS, but in this instance, I don't really think it's any better than the Transit. So here, yeah, I'm just avoiding the ice from the Stasis Subjugator. Definitely think that the Stasis Subjugator is worse than the Strand one. I'm not sure how much of this information I'm repeating because I completely forgot what I said the first time around, and I have no way of checking. So just gonna say whatever is on my mind. Here we are, grabbing the shield, no problem. Glad to see that I have recognized how to engage in this mechanic. Gonna take care. These Shadow Thrall are actually so giga annoying. I don't know why I don't just set up like a turret. Like, I can just set up a turret and then the Shadow Thrall are like no longer a problem. So I really should just be doing that, or maybe just pre-popping prismatic and just dropping like, you know, a nade or to spam, you know, my abilities. Sorry, you know, it's gonna take me a little bit to get used to saying words, getting warmed up once again here, you know, just sniping at these Grim. So whenever these rounds start, definitely the strategy, nice aim, bro. Definitely the strategy is to get rid of all the Grim first and then focus on the other trash mobs. Although in this instance, because the Subjugator is directly in front of me, I can just go ahead and do a lot of DPS because, you know, the rest of the ads are in the distance. But all right, gonna go ahead and grab the sword. I don't even know if I should really waste my time on killing the trash mobs. Maybe the first wave is fine, but definitely the second wave when they keep on respawning, I don't know why I'm wasting my time. Bro, hello? Embrace darkness quicker? I don't know why it took so long. For sure, it is convenient that the line doesn't replay. Saves us a bit of time, but when the screams in pain, yikes, crazy. I mean, it is interesting that, you know, we didn't try to destroy any of these veiled statues beforehand, but even if we did, I don't know if we would have realized that it caused damage to the witness. But I do think it would have been, you know, cool for us to have like destroyed the veiled statue in like the Guardian of Salvation, and you know, that somehow caused us to find out the revelation of what it did to the witness. But that would be probably thinking a little bit too ahead. I don't like, I'm sure they planned out a purpose for the veiled statues, and I'm sure it wasn't too far off of what we have here, but the particular storyline of how we discovered what those veiled statues were and the concrete solidification of what the veiled statues are in the first place were probably not solidified until the specific campaign, because to be honest, they were not really ever discussed in detail in this, you know, any of the story, but could have been explored in a season that I just could not play. But you know, probably not. I don't know if we would waste a season on a veiled statue. Or grab the shield second time around, dodge the witness attack. Pretty smooth. Pre-dropping the shield, pre-dropping a nade to get rid of all the thrall. Oh my god, every single enemy attacked me at the exact same time there. I got hit with Strand, I got hit by the witness, I got hit by... I think that might have been it. Hold on, I pick up the relic. I'm hit by Strand for sure. Oh, I'm hit by the poisoned air as well. Wow, literally 1 HP and I'm stuck at 1 HP. If anything hits me, I am dead. There is almost certainly no way I can dodge the Shadow Thrall. Honestly, it's probably going to be the Shadow Thrall that kill me here. But let's see what I can do. If I drop the nade and I drop a well, nope. Good try. Honestly, if I'm not gonna lie, the problem is the witness is kind of right in front of me. But if I didn't drop a well, and if I dropped a nade instead, or maybe went into my super, I might have been able to survive this and re-grab my shield. So I think there was a chance I could have survived if I didn't drop my well, because well does take a little bit to heal, and even 1 tick of damage would have killed me there. And 1 tick of damage did in fact kill me there. So that's another death to add to the death counter. I'm not keeping track, but I think it's like 10 maybe. Not too bad, not too bad. I mean, Callus was like 50 or something. I don't know, it's ridiculous. Although the problem with the Callus fight was not exactly the difficulty, although technically I guess you could pacify me not dealing with the tormentors efficiently as part of the difficulty. It's just that the map in that fight was trolling me. But, you know, that was kind of due to the tormentors. Luckily, the subjugators, you know, are less resistant to, or more resistant to my weapons, I should say. All right, nothing's really happening here as I grab the shield. Just gonna go ahead and drop it. I'm not gonna lie, it really is the Shadow Thrall being the most annoying thing ever. But here it seems like if I'm able to block them, it doesn't really matter. So I think that's really good to know. Like the fact that I have, you know, the shield, you know, taking a look at the witness in the background there as he's summoning storm. But it's good to know now that, you know, the shield definitely protects you from the Shadow Thrall. So as long as you enact the shield, it doesn't really matter. That would have saved me a couple of deaths almost certainly. But let's see if I retain that knowledge in game or not. Here we are, just taking care of the Grim first for sure. Those fuckers are the worst. Look at the stasis. Like, bro, stasis is gonna do damage from here. Yes, all like if you're all the way in the back, nothing can hit you except for these stasis guys. It's crazy. It's I mean, taste my own medicine, huh? Ooh, to trigger discipline. That's good job, me. You know, first time for everything. I'm behind cover and I get hit by the stasis attack, by the way. Hold on. I'm just gonna replay this. We're gonna go ahead and because this is a long ass replay. Good, that's a crazy rewind, but replay that trigger discipline. I get hit by the Grim in the background. Boom, I'm behind cover and the thing homes. All right, crazy, actually insane. All right, hit the Grim. Ooh, the one shot's clean. Bro's making crystals in, you know, nowhere. So let's gonna go ahead and take him out real quick. I'm not gonna lie, the Apex Predator is actually handicapping me in this fight. If the Ad Transit would be so much better. I have no idea why I switched to Apex Predator. That's actually just me trolling, because look at what I'm having to do. Like, I really should just use like one more rocket from the Apex Predator, but wow, what is happening here? Okay, yeah, see, I do have to at least kill the first wave. They almost killed me, which is really funny. I tried to actually attack a second. All right, nothing too exciting happening here. Just gonna go ahead and use the shield to super the bad guy. It does seem like the barrier, once erected, dispels the Shadow Thralls, which is pretty good to know. I hope I retain that information in game. Yeah, that's something we'll see. As you know, I take a good look at the witness summoning a storm. Pretty cool to see the shadow of his silhouette in the background, just ominously doing his spooky stuff. Taking care of the Grim first for sure. You know, these guys are the most annoying. Getting a precision crit on them is an insta-kill, but they are moving and flying, which makes them incredibly annoying. The stasis, oh my god, the stasis subjugator is absolutely the worst. It's hitting me behind cover. That's actually not fair. That's not okay, buddy. You cannot be doing this. You can't be hitting me behind cover. You know, taste of my own medicine, I guess. Ooh, the trigger discipline on the Apex Predator. I was stumbling over my words there. I have no idea why, but I didn't troll with the Apex Predator there. I am trolling by using the Apex Predator, though, in the first place, compared to my Edge Transit at the very least. I have no idea why I'm not just using the Edge Transit. Like, why am I using the Apex Predator at all? Like, what is the purpose of doing so? All right, instead of wasting one more rocket, I'm having to do this. Like, why am I DPSing with the Verglas? Another problem with the Apex is that I have to be pretty accurate with the target, and subjugators are not exactly, you know, the easiest targets of hit. Wow, the easiest of targets to hit, especially when they're moving around, but you know, it doesn't really matter. I did try to attack a different statue just to see if I could. That is not the case. Here I'm immediately grabbing the buff because I know how this goes. All right, so the prismatic shield has been enacted as we reach the end of the second phase for the Strand Subjugator, which, while annoying, not nearly annoying as the Stasis one, it is also convenient that, you know, here's one of the unfortunate situations, but luckily I did have my super. I don't think it actually mattered too much in that case. I wasn't taking that much damage, but my super goes ahead and makes sure I don't die, even though this is a complete waste of my super. Why am I not aggroing on? What am I doing? I'm trolling. Clearly, I'm just unaware of the strength of Song of Flame. like unironically, I think I actually just don't know how powerful Song of Flame is. Don't worry, I do find out that it is pretty broken. It's actually like kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie. The prismatic wells also make this section a little bit easier. It's also convenient that the subjugators never walk up too far. Like, I guess sometimes they will walk up to the second level, but they always, they never come to the third level all the way in the back. But they stay too much in the center, too close in the center for too long. And it makes managing the fights against them a lot easier. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on at the same time, right? You know, like the poison waves, the ads, there's stuff happening, but man, when the subjugator is just in the middle, you know, not really bothering you, and I can just take care of these Grim for pretty much free. It's pretty nice. All right, gonna go ahead and grab the sword the second time around. Embrace darkness. Wow, nothing is attacking me this time either. Pretty nice. It is very interesting how the light is themed to forget. All right, Zavala reminding us to return to the dark, which is convenient as the traveler is like, you know what, here you go, have your sword for free. Thanks. Appreciate that. Don't have to waste another round fighting, which honestly I kind of wish we did. I wish the final round was against the Tormentor. That would have made this fight actually epic. Because imagine the subjugators and then the third round you have to face against a Tormentor, because that would clear up my problems with the backwards being a little bit too free. The Tormentor would be chasing you down. That would definitely make this fight, you know, way more difficult. I guess if you want to add checkpoints to, you know, after the end of the second phase and beginning of third phase, you could. But I honestly think you should have added a Tormentor at the final fight.
Your daughter cannot help you while in prison.
Free it. It will take all you have
And more.
to unmake that which has been made
In the darkness.
Destroy us.
All right, the phrase Gardener once again, pretty interesting. It does say your Gardener specifically, so I wonder if Gardener is just a generic term for like an entity that brings life to, you know, a society or whatever. And in this case, your Gardener is, you know, being referred to as the traveler. So the Gardener might just be like, you know, not a real identity, or it just might be like an identity rather than being a real entity, which is interesting. You know, that might be it. Gardener could also just be synonymous with the traveler, and because of their culture, they're just, you know, changing it out. I'm not too sure. I do wonder. I'm sure this is like makes a little bit more sense when you have like more context of the lore, but I guess it is interesting that, you know, the veiled statues in particular are introducing this concept to us. It is interesting.
And more.
To unmake.
Guardian. We're hurt.
Get out of there, now!
The witness is regrouping, but we'll keep it off you.
And Cora,
Be brave.
keep going. Keep going, Guardian.
I've got a lock on your position.
All right. As we actually are able to injure the witness, they strike back and take us down to perma 1 HP. As we're constantly fighting again off the barrage of their attacks, the traveler is protecting us with the shield they granted us. And of course, I have to do a little bit of trolling as I spam the shield, you know, back and forth. You know, as long as I am protecting myself from the attacks, it doesn't really matter because there's no buff or debuff to be, you know, more specific that would be doing any sort of damage. I guess, you know, the witnesses' attacks are fairly scattered, so it's like, you know, you probably don't want your shield to be down, but you know, there is a timing, and luckily I exploited that and managed to not die. Wow, too easy.
what's wanted.
But you choose entropy.
We need to go. Keep moving.
All right, so the cutscene started off with the fire team arriving, and they're grouped up and positioned in the most unrealistic formation ever. They're just out in the open, not behind any cover. Actually, you know what? I take it back. That's true. That's this is exactly what my fire team would be doing. So, I take it back. Completely realistic. You know what, Bungie? They were right. They know what they're doing. Can't doubt them. But let's see. Soon enough, the witness forms. We actually are able to visualize the wound our destroying the statues does, which is really cool because, it shows that, we actually had an impact. The crack is tiny and the effect is pretty minimal. And as we find out that, the witness still is pretty much at full power, but we were able to wound the witness. So us having that knowledge is critical because it means the witness is, able to be wounded in the first place. So our efforts are not completely in vain. Wow, nice. Let's go. So the witness does stop the helm here. I don't know why the witness doesn't just, destroy the helm. I guess, maybe he's just angered at us and the squad and just decides to, focus on us instead. But it really just seems like, maybe the witness should just take care of the helm. But maybe Mara is resisting because, Mara is still there commanding the helm and she's fairly powerful, right? She's not going to just not be there. She's going to probably resist. So, yeah. The witness, reveals their true form, like a Final Fantasy villain. Pretty good, pretty nice, pretty epic. I like the hands. It was hinted at, and here we are. We just have the hands in full display, like the wings of an angel. They spread out. In the cutscene, we do see Crow use Golden Gun and use whatever the fire axe. I guess this is a hunter thing. I've never seen that. Everyone knows about Golden Gun though. But Zavala doesn't have the light anymore, which is unfortunate. So we see him struggle. We see Ikora, help Zavala. Pretty cool, pretty wholesome. We even saw, Cade assist Crow and Crow assist Cade. Wow, nice, epic. And then Mara saves us at the end. So not too much for me to actually analyze. The cutscene is just more to be epic and to set up the events of the future. Big fan of the hands, it's nice. Gotta hand it some.
All is not yet lost. The witness may have won this battle, but it is wounded. And while you've been occupied here, within the Traveler's heart, I've brought our allies to help you land the final blow. The full might of pChal's empire stands behind us in this endeavor. Mizrax's Kell rallies his House of Light to save their great machine, and I have found a guardian of great renown, Micah 10, who comes to us with bold ideas. If you intend to subdue the witness, we must first fight its corruption and weaken its hold on the Traveler. You will grow in strength, in power, and when the reckoning is at last upon us, you will storm the witness's monolith and strike where it is most vulnerable. You will shatter its hold on the Traveler, and you will end it.
Yeah, not too much for me to actually say there, but epic cutscene really setting us up for the raid, you know? The final battle with the witness approaches. It is really cool, you know, that the witness is, you know, part of the raid and isn't just the final boss of the raid is part of the campaign, right? But it's like officially part of the campaign, and yeah, it's just really neat. Really hyping us up, and you know, I'm here for it. So you know Mora, Keitel, a little bit familiar with. I really wish Lightfall focused on Keitel. pChal, no idea who this person is. You know, I know Aramis. I assume that maybe there's some attachment to Aramis there, but wow, what happened to Aramis? I wish, yeah, maybe I guess pChal might have been introduced in a season, which is unfortunate because I've not played that season. So that's a shame. Aramis just was frozen, and you know that's it. Rip her. Wow, great campaign.
Their great machine.
And Mika 10, I guess seems like she's a new character since Mara said she just found her, but might be like a character previously introduced that's being reintroduced, you know, way in the future now. It is cool to have, you know, the entire squad assemble, you know, all the allies group up as we come to fight a common enemy. You know, just, you know, it's pure hype. You know, here we see six guardians, which means, you know, that's the 6 guardians that I assume are going to take on the raid. Looking at the weapons or classes or whatever, we have like a stasis person, a strand person, a gun person, a fire person, I mean, solar strand. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much you can really read. Here we have a person in the background pulling out a sword though. Nice, pretty epic. In hindsight, I now know what that sword is. So cool teaser. And, you know, if you know, you know. So pretty epic, pretty cool. The final battle with the witness approaches. Nice. Kino. Of course, Ghost grants us a gift, and we have the choice between 2 exotics. The Speaker Sight Helmet, which grants us the Lost Voice exotic perk, Healing Grenade Spawn Restorative Turret, and that is versus Matiodoxia, which is a chest armor piece that grants us the exotic perk, Silostasis. I'm going to pretend that's how you say it for sure. Arcane Needle causes suspending detonations. Of course, you know, the choice is tough. Do I want to be a Rizless loser who's spawning healing turrets? Or am I gonna be a Chad Arcane Needle Suspender with the pure drip? Come on, look at this outfit. How am I supposed, like, really, just on pure drip alone? You want me to choose the Speaker Sight over Matiodoxia? Come on, come on. And, you know, at least these stats this time are not great, but they're not as trolling me as the Osmiomancy gloves are currently from the Witch Queen. The stats on these are terrible. But, you know, they've carried me through the entirety of the campaign, so they're good enough.
We know how to defeat the witness. I didn't think I'd ever be able to say those words. We can use your affinity with darkness to navigate it and seek out the witness where it's most vulnerable. And we'll channel the Traveler's light to destroy it from within. But first, we have to loosen the witness's hold on the Traveler. We aren't strong enough without its full power behind us. Our allies are here now. They'll help us ready ourselves to strike against the witness and sever its connection to the Traveler. This is it, Guardian. I know I'm in rough shape, but I'm not afraid. This is what I was made for. Whatever it takes.
All right, Ghost does address their terrible shape. It does seem like, you know, all the red flags are there for them to die, but to me, you know, ignoring the meta context of how important our Ghost is to everything we do in Destiny, you know, all our interfacing, all our whatever, I think Ghost dying from a story perspective makes sense. You know, I think our Ghost is going to die, but the Traveler is probably going to bring him back. You know, maybe the Traveler and Veil combine, and that energy brings him back, or the Witness brings him back and empowers the Ghost, and the Witness's spirit is in our Ghost somehow. Our Ghost is not going to die because, you know, it just doesn't seem like they're going to die. Like, you know, it seems a little bit too obvious. Well, I mean, it's not even too obvious that they're going to die. It's just, how are they going to get brought back? That's the real important question. So after the campaign missions, there are still a few missions that are not exactly associated with the main campaign. These missions involve a side distraction to deal with Savathun and her influence within the Pale Heart, along with Mithrax's involvement. Unfortunately, I don't have too much to really say about this. I guess it is cool, you know, to fight against Savathun, just or at least her model, and to engage within this mechanic. I mean, if you're really interested, I don't know, play it for yourself, I guess. I mean, you know, it's neat, but like, you know, it's pretty easy, especially since we're coming off of legendary difficulty. And lore-wise, there's not really too much for me to say, as it's mainly just, you know, Savathun talking about stuff and hinting at stuff, and, you know, not really too much for me to add. In fact, even right now, I'm basically just padding time for no reason, just saying how much I can't talk about this, which is not the most effective use of everyone's time. But wow, the texture here is really pretty, crazy.
You know I'm here.
I know. There's
Mika 10 also has her Lost Ghosts, and I do all of them, but I don't think I have the footage recorded for most of them because I don't think I really did them in order, and each of them only has like one voice line or like one or two voice lines that are important at like the end, and it's like, oh my god, I'm not gonna record all that footage just to have those voice lines, mainly because I have no footage, I have no hard drive storage space at all, so you know, it is a tough life. I also, you know, I guess I could have comments about that, but I mean, I'm sure I could just pull off all the quotes off YouTube, but in a much simpler form. It is the more important part, which I will be getting to, is the exotic quest involving Cade, which I will get to for sure.
Yay.
All right, after checking in with Cade, we go ahead and talk to Ghost. I mean, I was not joking when I said we're about to do this exotic quest. This is definitely the more important content. Oh yeah, the game also, you know, introduces us to the Pathfinder system, which is a replacement for bounties. I mean, I don't have really too much to say about this as a new player. It's just, you know, I guess they're trying to streamline the system, so cool. I mean, I think bounties still exist, so it's not completely streamlined, but here it is. Very, very cool. Hopefully it's fine. I mean, it seems okay. I haven't really engaged too much in it outside of, you know, when I initially played the campaign, but it is here. It also exists for the rituals, and I think they are splitting up the ritual Pathfinder to be separate for Gambit Crucible and Nightfalls or Vanguard, which is something I kind of expected them to do initially. I don't know why they combined all three of them. You know, like trying to get players to play all game modes is Omega Cope, but I think they finally realized again. But yeah, let's just continue on. All right, I actually end up getting distracted by the Hollow missions, which involve Mithrax, actually, because the queens involved Mara and Savathun, as you could probably assume by the name. I still don't have anything to really say about Mithrax. In fact, I have even less. I straight up don't even know who Mithrax is, but House of Light, very cool. You know, it's cool to have an official Elixir faction. I'm sure the introduction of Mithril was interesting, and it is a shame, or Mithrax, not even Mithril, I don't know. I'm sure Mithrax's introduction is very, very interesting and exciting, and I'm sure their storyline is super pog. It's a shame that I have no idea how to even engage within that storyline, because, you know, I've experienced zero of it, and just being here and doing all this stuff is cool gameplay wise, but not exactly engaging in the narrative, mainly because I have no idea what to even engage in or how to engage.
I am not proud of that time, Guardians. I have tried to move beyond it.
pieces of my past as well. But if we command that energy,
Like we will.
secrets from the past.
I mean, you know, trying to reread through it, it's not too bad. It's kind of reintroducing Mithrax. I mean, I guess I better hold on his character, but But yeah, I mean, once again, I still don't have too much to say. This is just can we flow? Now let me actually get to the exact mission where I probably do have a little bit more valid commentary, hopefully. You know, I haven't discussed these Lost in the Light missions either, where, you know, there's more character interactions between, you know, the characters. Like here, I think we have Crow talked, or we listen in on a memory of Crow. We have a memory of Saladin, who's a character apparently. So, you know, I could analyze this if I had all the footage, but I don't, unfortunately. So let me actually get to the exotic mission for like the 4th time in a row now. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff after the main campaigns. It's just, it's kind of difficult to analyze this when I don't have all the footage. But, okay, so just kidding. Apparently, before I got to the exotic quest, wow, I know I had to deal with Keitel's storyline and, you know, the whole reason she is in here and whatnot. So I do wish I had all of my footage complete, because some of these memories are really interesting character-wise, and it would be neat to analyze them. I'm sure they're all recorded on YouTube, so if this would be something you'd be interested in hearing my thoughts about, let me know. Also, for some reason, I switched my loadout to the Midnight Coup and Prometheus lens. Yes, I believe the special weapon I have in my secondary is the Prometheus lens. I have no idea why I did this. I actually just, I have no idea. Like, not even slightly clear. This was 4 months ago. I have no idea what I was thinking.
When I say we're done here. Me, friend, the high and mighty to give the order.
All right, I keep on teasing the exotic quest, apparently, but apparently there was a bunch of stuff in between the exotic quest that I clipped that that is important. So here, after, I believe this is right after Luzaku, I completed the Luzaku quest or whatever, the one involving her, Destined Heroes. Guardian, I think we're in completely new territory. Light and darkness are powerful, but unbalanced. We need to unify them into one coherent force, although they'll tear us apart. The didactic prism, it's not even didac prism resonates. It's leading us to unify light and darkness. Interesting. Very cool. So we get the didac prism, and we can use this to claim our destiny. Wow. All right, so here we are back in the room created by the witness where the ghosts are. We have a neat looking sword in the ground. Honestly, kind of wish we got this sword, like the little skull. Who knows? Maybe they might turn that into an ornament. I wouldn't be surprised if that actually does end up becoming the case. New mission, Hope, Seek Your Destiny. Wow, so this is where we started to unmake what was made. And for some reason, there is an extreme burst of light. Thank you, Traveler. Yeah, so this is quite the fantastical view. Just this pure beam of light energy, not quite reaching into the sky. Like as we stare into, you know, the storm created by the Witness's monolith at this much closer angle, it's kind of crazy how immensely detailed, you know, the structure is. It's like, goddamn, it's crazy. It's so crisp. Sheesh. Anyways, make our own faith. Boom. Ergo Song. Honestly, a little bit disappointed that, you know, we didn't get a fanfare noise similar to, you know, Zelda, something like that, or like a cool effect. But there we go. We got the Ergo Sum. This is indeed the sword we saw at the end of the ink plot cutscene shown by Mara at the end there. Pretty cool, pretty cool. This sword in particular is interesting because it has a bunch of different roles, which I didn't realize until a bit after this. This one in particular is, let's see, Wolfpack rounds, Void. The Void Wolfpack rounds, sword Wolfpack rounds is the Galahorn effect. So honestly, the fact that I got this as my first sword, pretty good. I don't know what the frame is because I don't think I take a look at it initially because I'm like, I'm not even concerned about that. I don't even think that could be a problem. But I think when I looked at it in my inventory, I think it's an aggressive frame. So let me go ahead and wait for me to pull it up. Aggressive frame, yes, that is an aggressive frame. So not the best frame, but you know, it is a Wolfpack rounds. So very, very cool. You know, it's cool that you know, these weapons that have different perk rolls definitely varies up the loot roll and grind and chase, because I know I have a couple of ergosystems, but I definitely don't have all of them. I don't even think I need all of them or want all of them, but you know, for people to do, you know, they can. So the shiny weapons are cool though. I mean, is that really a surprise? Wow, you're making a weapon shiny in gold? Truly shocking that it's nice. All right, finally, wild card time.
This is the spot Micah told me about. The witness is experimenting with dark ether and screebs. We should track down all the targets we can, destroy them, and try to contain their ether.
Okay, first step of every successful mission is a code name. I am thinking Operation Scream Again. It really rolls off the tongue.
Really?
I'm not hearing any bright ideas coming out of you.
All right, some lines by Crow and a little point of disapproval by Crow, really showing off their character interaction as I fall into the void. Nice. We're gonna pretend that this never happened. All right, we clear the area and investigate this little grass statue.
Glowing with dark ether. Find them and clear out as many as we can.
Good call. Let's keep looking.
I am definitely, you know, I'm definitely using the ergo. I'm like, wow, definitely using the ergo. It's crazy, but no, I'm using the ergo just because, you know, I got it and it's a cool new exotic, so might as well test it out. Unfortunately, the specific role I got is not all that helpful in this situation, but it is I am at least, you know, testing out a not bow, the Midnight Edge here. I have no idea why it changed. I think maybe because, you know,
Dark ether in these screens.
I can't. I'm trying to think of a reason, but I can't. I'm not even like a single reason.
The dark ether in these screens is volatile. The witness is intentionally using them to spread its corruption.
Okay, so we just have to defeat an entire tainted ecosystem. No biggie.
Nice, little bit too easy of a job for us, as indicated by the dialogue.
I hate those creepy little things.
It's not their fault. The Scorn can't help what they are.
Hey, I'm not here to psychoanalyze, just shoot things. Let's set up a base of operations, maybe by that waterfall.
You know, since I do know that Aldrin was apparently involved with the creation of the Scorn. You know, Crow has those past memories, so he knows what is up. So, you know, it is curious at what the nature of the Scorn are, because he did say that they can't help what they are. So, place the tent. Nice, cool. Is that a base? Oh, is that a base?
It has been a while since I've slept out under the stars. Hope there's no mosquitoes. I hate mosquitoes.
It's not much, but it's somewhere we can sit and focus.
We're underneath a little cliffside, nice, and explorers of Skypilled with the campfire.
We dump the dark ether we collect here. Later, we'll dispose of it and get that poison out of the traveler completely.
All right, so yeah, we have to collect a bunch of tainted dark ether. Honestly, I'm not going to bore you with the details. If you're interested in all the minutia and tiny lines of dialogue, go play the mission yourself. Go play, you know.
Teeth marks. The ether's been drained from them.
Yeah, we see screebs, but the war beasts see tasty little dark ether dumplings. Not appetizing.
So, you know, it's a little interesting to get a difference in perspective and what they view as we place down, you know, a campaign banner. Very exciting investigating these cabal and the defensive setup. Clearly, this is not a trap or anything, you know, not suspicious at all.
Dead Shadow Legion. Something used these guys as a chew toy. Guardian, look out!
All right, this Devourer of Tainted Light section was not too bad, but I definitely made things a lot harder by myself by using the Ergo Sum here. You know, it's not the most effective, but this fight is honestly pretty cool because, you know, there is the mechanic involved, mainly with the boss behavior being completely different in the case of these shields existing. Like the boss being a war beast will run out at you and then run back into cover. So, you know, we're playing a lot of hide and seek, which is actually really interesting and makes for a unique boss fight because, you know, in order to really, you know, even combat the beast, you have to go and engage within the protected area. So, you know, you can use a protected area as like a shield for you and shield for the enemies, but it is this little, you know, change in gameplay makes things a lot more fun to deal with. All right, so I am on the Prometheus lens here because I realized that the Ergo Sum, while cool, it's not the most effective weapon. So to use at all times, especially because I only had it with Wolfpack rounds, although it wasn't an aggressive frame. So I needed a special energy weapon, and that was also exotic, and this is literally the only option I had. So that's why I'm using this. That definitely influences why I changed up my primary, but I guess I just didn't have a good primary bow, a kinetic bow. Yeah, I think that's actually it. I didn't have a kinetic legendary bow, so I think I just had to use Demon IQ. So there we go. That's the mystery solved there. As we defeat the War Beast, by the way. I did die once, and that's why I switched over to the weapon.
Couldn't be the source of
Pretty
the
distant.
ether. There's more going on here.
Crow realizes, you know, that War Beast is probably not the source of the ether, it's just devouring it.
Oh,
All right, Crow ends his conversation with Cade, you know, as they realize that the wish, you know, wasn't really from the Traveler, but Crow reaffirms the themes of not only the Final Shape campaign, but of Destiny as a whole. You know, I pretty much said these exact same words earlier, so was I stealing from this game or was Crow stealing it from me? Who knows? I mean, no, I mean, it's the theme of the game. Come on. The game's called Destiny. It's not subtle. It's not subtle.
Guardian, we've got Taken approaching the camp. Come on, I could use a hand.
Actually, I was gonna skip this, but an exotic just randomly drops, which is pretty crazy. I don't know how many random exotic engrams have drops, especially since I shook my camera at it. Probably like one maybe. So this might be like my second, but maybe it's my first exotic random drop that I've noticed at least. I don't think so, but you know, it's probably single digits for sure. All right, we have to clear a bunch of blanks and then talk to Crow.
Nice work out there, Guardian. Cade has his own way of doing things. I respect that. He might not think he's special, but he's got a special something. The type of heroism that doesn't typically lead to a line of succession. It's why the Hunters were so loyal to him, why many still are. It's why the Vanguard is still incomplete. Why you hunted down Aldrin. Get some rest, Guardian. I'll stand watch and let you know when Cade calls in.
Right, here we have Crow contemplate his past and the legacy of what it means to be a hunter and Cade's legacy. Yeah, it's pretty deep topics to introspect about. Not too sure what, well, I'm pretty sure I know what Aldrin is thinking, and, you know, it's pretty, like, you know, when I just state out his thoughts, you know, bluntly, it's pretty obvious, but it's more about how he feels about such a complicated situation and how he's going to choose to navigate this situation in the future, and, you know, what all this heavy topic, how it influences him.
Unrelated Shanks. Either way, come on over. We're shooting Shanks. So we're keeping watch.
Though,
All right, Cade figures out where we're going, so let's go ahead and use a shortcut because apparently some Shanks took the barrel of dark ether. Gonna go investigate the dead fallen in this area. Pretty neat.
These are laser birds. The Shanks went haywire, just like we saw with the War Beasts.
This dark ether corrupts wiring just like it affects organisms. That's alarming.
Like we needed even more of a reason to wipe it out. Stakeouts make me antsy.
Sit still. Weren't you the one who suggested this?
You know, the only thing better than my first ideas are my second ideas. What if we let the Guardian do what they do best and just unleash hell?
And let their fire draw out the leader. Smart. Sounds like a plan.
So it seems like our objective is to draw out the Mega Shank. I switch out my heavy weapon, but only after I interact with the campaign banner. So get wrecked, nerd. I am testing the bounds of the limits of the encounter. So, I mean, free reset right there. No problem. But it is interesting that we are in a completely unique area that we are limited in, and that we only have limited amount of space to fight through. It is interesting to note that Desperate Measures and what was that? Desperate Measures and I literally can't see that. Firefly, Desperate Measures, Indomitability. Wow. I think Firefly and Desperate Measures are the main perks, and the origin perk is Indomitability. I think that's what's going on there. Wow. Look at that. That's my knowledge increasing. I know, crazy. Oh, my knowledge is increasing, but my skill might be doing the exact opposite. This looks like the typical supply and demand graph. Just switch out the axes. But this fighting location is interesting. It obviously favors longer range locations. Here I'm trying to just figure out where I can situate myself in, but as I soon find out, it's not great to not be in any cover. So I'm tapping. Oh, the Hoarder of Tainted Light. I'm just tapping away with my Prometheus lens. It's a pretty good sound effect, not gonna lie. For some reason, I do have the Doom Petitioner in my inventory. I also swapped out a couple of things. I got Leviathan Breath. Pretty interesting that I decided to do some inventory management stuff here. I don't know why. I'm gonna actually guess maybe I decided to like get a little bit serious for the raid. I was like, I don't know how this is getting serious for the raid, but you know.
Not 12, by the way. Oh, okay. As long as you didn't think this was a competition. Because I'm at 13. Oh, that's how it's gonna be? Come on, old guard. I dare you to beat me.
Oh, be careful with that word.
So the banter between Crow and Cade is actually pretty good here, as it's directly creating a competition between them, as I am pressured by the Mega Shank and a bunch of Shanks that spawn in behind me that completely shock me. Very toxic, very not cool. Do not appreciate that. But yeah, there are a lot of Shanks here, huh? It is a good thing I do have the Doom Petitioner. It really makes doing damage to the Mega Shank pretty easy. I mean, I guess I could use the Apex Predator or Edge Transit, but I think Edge Transit would be a little bit harder because I would have to aim with the grenade launcher a little bit more than I would like to. And with the whatever it's called, Edge Transit, I would have to try. No, the Apex Predator, I would have to try. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by my own gameplay. I keep on thinking I'm about to die, but somehow I'm managing to pick off all the enemies I need to at a good amount of time. And I'm somehow surviving, and I managed to take down the Hoarder of Tainted Light without dying, which is actually surprising. I did not expect that. I mean, I did die the first round, but that was because, you know, I jumped off the map. That doesn't count.
Look at all this raw ether. Our barrel is still missing, though. Hold on. Let me check the Mega Shank's data. Well. Got the coordinates of where it originated.
Sounds like the perfect place to continue our investigation. Operation Boom Pop Wow is back on track.
What about Operation Popscorn?
Hey, there you go. You see how fun it is?
So there we have two different names of the operations. Operation Boom Pop Wow and Operation Popscorn. Pretty cool names. I mean, compared to Operation Amkara, they've definitely got the leg up on Zavala. Personally, Popscorn versus Boom Pop Wow. I'm gonna be honest and say I'm a Popscorn fan, to be honest. Popscorn, much clever. Introducing Scorn into the word popcorn is a nice bit of wordplay that I definitely appreciate, and that's cooler and slicker and rolls off the tongue way easier than Boom Pop Wow, for sure. So I'm Popcorn fan all the way.
You still hate me deep down, but we should probably stick together from now on.
I don't hate you. I don't even hate Ulrich. We both played our hands and his trumped mine. It cost me my life, my friends, Sundance. Oh man, Sundance. She was everything. But I got dealt a new hand and get to choose how I play it next.
Cade, I need you to know I'm sorry. All of me.
Everybody makes mistakes, kid. And everybody, I mean everybody, pays for them. Don't you think we both paid enough?
Nice heart-to-heart between Cade and Crow. They're resolving the differences between their past, and you know, it is pretty complicated. So this being done here is really nice to see, actually.
Dark ether readings are off the charts. We must be closing in on the source.
So, where to next, boss?
Boss?
Yeah. If you were leading the mission, what would you do?
Hit the source of the dark ether, find the screep hole, and shut the whole thing down.
Screep hole! Great name.
Here we're continuing the expansion of their relationship as Cade is referring some, you know, job duties over, or relegating some job duties over to Crow.
Oh, this is our screep hole.
Definitely like the revisiting of maps and expansion of the locations. Not gonna lie, the Pale Heart as a location is definitely the best. Like, by bar none, it is significantly better than every other planet. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of crazy how much better the Pale Heart is compared to every other location. Even though some of the other locations still are visually neat, just, I mean, as a place to actually explore and live in and traverse in and everything in, you know, the Pale Heart really is just that much better. So congratulations to, you know, everyone that worked on it. And they nailed it. In any case, killing some Shreve, and we place down our third rally banner.
Why did they drag it in here?
Here we do find our Dark Ether barrel, pretty interesting. The forces at play, pretty wacky. We're in a cave, closed off, and we just fought Screeb, so I'm pretty sure we're gonna fight some more Screeb.
This looks like the dark ether source.
Here we have the Dark Ether Source Guardian. Nice, we're gonna pop some Screebs, and hopefully they don't pop me.
Take it coming in and back up. They're on me. I got your back.
Here I'm using the Edge Transit to do a bunch of ad clear for no reason. Prometheus Lens, beaming the Harvester down. Not bad, not bad. I don't think I've summoned a turret once. I think I've tossed out a cold snap, but I guess, you know, I just gotta wait. I saw the barrel and I saw an interaction point, but I don't think I can actually do anything quite yet because I do have to collect some Dark Ether. No problem. So, I mean, with all the Screeb being in this closed off location, it's quite obvious what the game designers want to happen, and that is to troll you. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of is lucky that I switched to the Midnight Edge a little bit earlier because it makes dealing with the Screeb a little bit easier because I only have to do a couple of shots into the Screeb in order to get them to blow up. When, you know, if I was using a bow, it would be a lot slower of a process because even though one arrow would kill one Screeb, I need to kill a bunch of Screeb quickly. It is also really annoying that, you know, the Dark Ether deposit location exists as a very obvious point for all the Screeb to close in on you. The Screeb also pushing out when I have to face the Harvester is really, really not cool. Do not appreciate this. Luckily, Song of Flame, it makes my tasks so much easier, and I can go down to second phase. Nice. Gonna pop Prismatic or Transcendent in order to become Prismatic, and we're gonna continue on. All right, deposit last bit of Dark Ether. Hopefully. Yep, there he is. So Cade is going to go ahead and block off the entrance. Ludwig's Harvester of the Witness is pretty low. Right now, I'm extremely tense and I'm really, really focused on trying to get rid of this boss as fast as possible. And the reason for that is because I am so scared of dying to the Screeb at any second. Throw your nade, throw your nade, throw your nade. I waited for the Edge Transit reload, but that's good enough. But man, I'm actually really surprised I didn't die even once. The Screeb pushing me at certain points in time were pretty intense, but if there were more, you know, I think I would have died for sure. But I think if there were more combined with some more enemies, like the most dangerous point in time was when the Screeb were pushing in with the enemies during the second wave. If there was some Screeb along with the ads here in this final wave, like if there's those initial Screeb, if there was a second wave and then the third wave of Screeb along, like following these taken, I probably for sure would have, I mean, I probably would have lived actually. You know, I handled the situation pretty well. Honestly, I'm just a better player. Never mind. You know, there could be 10 times the amount of Screebs and I would have still solo flawless this because I'm just better. Wow. It's too easy.
Oh, yep. Definitely has a smell. But I do see a gross bit I could use more.
We can cave him in.
Hey, Ludwig! Why don't you stand right here? Pretty good idea.
Thanks. I have those sometimes.
Nice action cutscene showcasing the character dynamic between Crow and Cade. Very, very nice, very sleek, very clean. I like the move at the end. We're using this Screeb to destroy the ceiling on top to collapse in the dude. Nice. A little bit of brains as well as not only bronze, but you know, same thing as brawn essentially, just skill. They are not devoid of it. Oh yeah. Cade at least is not. You're gonna go and jump back in down to the alcove. Meet Crow and Cade.
It's a new cloak. If you're going to be the next Hunter Vanguard, you'll need one.
The Vanguard dare.
Isn't law. If it was, Aldrin would have the position. But none of that matters. This needs to be your choice. If you don't want it, or you're not ready, don't do it. I wasn't ready, but I did the best I could.
But you're the Hunter Vanguard.
Not anymore. Too much paperwork. Look, you want purpose. This is it, kid. Me, I can't be tied to a desk if I'm gonna find mine. Just think about it. I dare you.
I will.
Make sure you celebrate that. Life's still all about that time. Big fight coming up. Let's get to it.
There we have Cade hand over the Hunter Vanguard robes to Crow. So it does seem like this entire thing was probably a test, maybe, or at least Cade used it as a test, even if the situation was not, you know, something of his own creation. But it seems like Cade used this as a bonding opportunity and moment to pass down his role of being the previous Hunter Vanguard over to Crow. I mean, this was hinted at the beginning of, you know, this exotic mission, and Crow is basically in line with Zavala and Ikora and us, so he's kind of already part of the Vanguard crew. So him taking up the mantle in place of Cade, even though Cade is back, makes sense. You know, the new guard is here. Cade, you know, free spirit, doesn't want to be tied down to the desk, makes sense, and so he really just does not want to be the Hunter Vanguard. We return back to the Lost City and the landing.
Cade told me something that you need to know.
What is it?
He doesn't intend to return as Hunter Vanguard. He thinks Crow deserves the job.
Indeed. Crow is more than ready. And he's a different person now.
Perhaps we all are.
Ikora, there's no easy way to say this. Will you Teach me how to use stasis.
Are you sure?
I know it sounds hollow after all the times I've warned against using the darkness. I know, but as you said, we're all different people now.
We certainly are. Of course I'll teach you Zavala.
Don't go easy on me just because.
I won't. Meet me at camp. We'll start with the basics. New light.
All right, some more wholesome relationship bonding between Zavala and Ikora as we inform them of the plans Crow has in store. You know, they are approving of Crow's position, and Zavala uses this moment of change and passing on to ask Ikora if he can learn stasis. You know, he lost his ghost, unfortunately, and cannot use the light anymore. And in turn, now has to turn to the darkness, you know? He was tempted over, and the witness crushed his ghost, and, well, Zavala went to the dark side, and now you gotta stay in here, buddy. To be fair, stasis, pretty chill, you know? If I had to pick a subclass to go with, stasis is definitely not bad. I mean, Strand is also pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, stasis and Strand versus Arc versus Void versus Solar. You know, I'm not gonna lie, Solar and Void are pretty good. Mainly Solar. Void has Devour, you know, but Prismatic has Devour as well. Arc kind of seems the worst by a considerable amount. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's nothing like Amplified is cool, but compared to the benefits of Solar, mainly like the restoration and the healing and Well of Radiance and Song of Flame, compared to Void, even, which has the Void Bomb Cataclysm, which is insane in DPS, which I found out earlier. So, you know, Darkness is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, you know, I wouldn't even be surprised if we get more Darkness subclasses in the future. It seems more likely than Light subclasses at the current time. Although, to be honest, I feel like they're probably not going to introduce any more class abilities for the meanwhile. They might introduce them in the subclasses themselves, like expand upon Solar or Arc or whatever, or decent balancing or changing, but I don't think we're going to get a new subclass for a while. I don't think it makes sense, but I know, who knows, maybe the story will make it make sense, but it does seem like a lot of effort for something I don't think we currently need, especially since we have Prismatic. It might make more sense to allow us to do more combination stuff with Prismatic instead of having a new subclass entirely, since Prismatic is kind of like multiple subclasses, and if you build craft it, or if they lean in the build crafting direction. In any case, we go ahead and talk to Kraid.
Hey.
Cade hears your approach and turns to you. He's holding a sniper rifle. While familiar in shape, its design certainly feels like Cade has had his hands on it. He offers it to you. You didn't think I'd give Crow something and not cook out something for you too, right? Come on, he says. He got a shiny new cloak and potentially crushing responsibility. It's only fair that you get a new gun courtesy of yours truly. I'd way rather have a gun than be a leader in the Vanguard. That sounds terrible. So, you know what, Cade there. Cade crosses his arms and considers you for a moment. It feels as though the quiet is intentional, appreciating your presence, until he nods his head and pulls himself back to reality. It was nice getting into trouble with you again, he says, words laced with sincerity that lingers despite how quickly he tries to move on. Now, I've got to figure out how to get the rest of the scroob juice out of my clothes before the big battle. Cade sniffs his cloak, still rancid from the screeb slime, and recoils. He whispers, at this point, I might just burn them. Boom. And with that, we can pick up the Still Hunt Sniper Rifle Exotic. Cade's Retribution. Acquire orbs to fire Gundam. What am I trying to combine there? Gundam and Golden? Why would I even bring up Gundam? Whatever. Golden gun shots. This sniper. Wow. You know, you probably don't need me to tell you what the Still Hunt is all about, but wow, this gun is kind of crazy, and the fact that it is straight up just golden gunshots is wild. Hunters were eating good when this came out. In any case, we do get a final shape report card, which informs us of, you know, some cool stuff. Prismatic unlocked 67, Lost Ghost heals. I think I actually heal all of them, not gonna lie. personal, if not all of them, most of them. Personal contribution to, sure, soul system prepared. 15 million, whatever. Not sure what that means exactly or how that factors in. But yes, that is pretty much most of the activities before, you know, the final shape looms. There are the cooperative missions where you play missions 5, 6, and 7 with a team, and they have like, you know, co-op specific mechanics, but I'm not gonna lie, the mechanics in that was like a berserker dude where you had to shoot him from both sides or shoot a spike thing. They felt really tacked on, and I'm not gonna lie, they didn't really feel like they were implemented within the missions properly themselves. I mean, I guess it's cool to have like, you know, more co-op focused missions, and it is cool that I was able to join a fire team through Fireteam Finder and play the last 3 missions with in co-op since I did the main campaign solo. But I mean, there's not really too much for me to actually discuss there. I did get the Microcosm exotic as well, which is a heavy that is kinetic, which is pretty interesting. So definitely I did that because, you know, I was like, you know, for the raid, I definitely have to have all the new exotics. So I definitely prepared for the Still Hunt and the Microcosm for sure. Here I'm taking a better look at the Still Hunt itself. It looks pretty clean. Not too bad, not too bad. I do read the exotic text. I mean, I don't know if you would want me to read it here, you know, but it is cool that we get a little bit of dialogue and Cade reminds himself that Aldrin is actually Crow and he is able to make that mind shift change, even though he was struggling with it. You know, it is tough, especially when that person killed you. So, you know, here I am equipping with Metadoxia, reading it, examining it. I don't think anything too exciting happens. Oh, here, actually, I do actually change out my equipment. Wow, this is the world's ugliest helmet, but I think it was what I needed for Metadoxia. Yes, in order to get my resilience to 100. Everything else is pretty bad. I mean, my melee is 90 at least, but it's, you know, I guess it's fine. I mean, you know, if that melee was a little 6 more, it would be 100 and then it would look a lot better. But I mean, I do need upgrade material to do some infusion anyways. But it does seem here that my loadout is changed because I did have a exotic bow in my energy slot because, you know, I was done using the Ergo Sum. So here I am with the Luminarch. This also does allow me to use the call. And of course I have my trusty Edge Transit as my heavy weapon for the Metadoxia build. Wow. Looking clean, looking nice. Obviously I gotta test it. I have to feel how the Luminarch shoots. Pretty good. I like the snappy response of the Luminarch. I will have much more detailed thoughts on how it feels a bit later on though. But I definitely was like, you know, I got to switch up from the Verglass curve. I have Prismatic, you know, maybe I go a little bit more Void. Maybe I switch things up. I mean, that's the best part about, you know, Prismatic. It's like, well, I can do a lot of things. I don't have to be stuck on one thing exactly. I mean, it's not like I had to be stuck on one thing either, but especially now that I don't have to deal with the legendary mode, I can just, you know, test the stuff out. I definitely run through, like, you know, some harder difficulty missions. I think I ran through the overload or the co-op mission stuff with this setup, and it was pretty good. I mean, the Luminarch is pretty good as a bow. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the poison DOT is fairly simple as an effect, but it is pretty potent. It also has the bonus effect of dealing with overloads, but I'm not gonna lie, if I'm running this with Osmiomancy or, you know, later on the Getaway Artist, then, you know, I can just slow down overloads anyways. So I definitely think it's much easier to, like, at least I found pretty early on when I was doing the Legend Lost Sectors before even Witch Queen, that relying on abilities to deal with, you know, the enemies or champions in specific is just much better, because with weapons you have to do like multiple attacks, and it's not always consistent, and you have to use specific loadouts. It's like, bro, just come on. Abilities, especially with prismatic, it's like, wow, now you have access to like basically every verb. It's very nice. Anyways, so while I am exploring the Pale Heart, just doing some stuff, here I am noticing, wow, that Husk really fucking trolled me. But there are some feathers and that I can pick up as collectibles. You know, there are a couple more collectibles in the Pale Heart as well. And oh man, the Kavasav quest, oh boy, I still don't think I've completed it. So, you know, I will have to get to that at some point, but yeah, there are quite a lot of collectibles. I mean, it's also good because, you know, the map was built to explore properly. Like, you know, it feels like a proper explorable map, which makes having to actually run around and do the collectible stuff not terrible. And it's pretty good use of, you know, reasoning map design that they spend so much time on. Like, you know. In any case, I don't think I have anything more to add. I'm just out here doing stuff, getting ready for the raid. You know, gotta get my gear prepped, gotta get my power level prepped. I'm definitely just gonna do as many bounties as possible. I mean, I didn't do any bounty prep, so I definitely have to get my artifact level up as much as possible. You know, I literally spent, here I am, just I'm out of final shape clips because I ran out of hard drive space. But yeah, you know, next time you see me is when I break down the raid. And oh boy, for a contest mode raid, it sure was something, huh?